I'm Gary Boughton, and this is another Xara TV tutorial at XaraZone.com. Happy New Year, and let's start writing this on our checks instead of this. What I'm going to take you through this month is another underused feature in Xara, Live Effects. Live Effects is your gateway to using a whole passel of native filters in Xara, as well as just about any third-party Adobe Standard plugin that you might buy. Now, the obvious neat thing about Live Effects is that you can make your vector shapes look like paintings, look like op art, you can make them look blurry, you can make your artwork look as though Renoir was having a bad hair day. Now, the not so obvious but still neat thing is that you can change the settings of a plugin. You can change the shape of a path while the plugin is still applied. You can even remove the filter. Live Effects is non-destructive, and the only time a plugin is done is when you are. So let's get some hands-on now with plugins. To begin this month, go to XaraZone.com/tutorials. Scroll down the page, click the download button to download the zip archive for this month, unpack the contents, and let's get ready to go. Before getting into this month's tutorials on Live Effects, a good question to ask might be, what is a Live Effect? Xara's Live Effect tool loads plugins that usually conform to the Adobe standard for filters and other effects. These plugins can dramatically change both bitmap imports and vector shapes, usually in ways that are hard or impossible to accomplish using only Xara's native vector tools and features. Before we get too deep or too far into Xara Live Effects, you should know that Xara can accept third-party plugins. That means that if you've bought a filter from, say, Alien Skin or Corel or most any other vendor, you can use that plugin within Xara. Right now I'm going to show you how to specify a folder that Xara can tap into that'll contain your plugins. So in Xara, you press Ctrl-Shift-O. In the Options dialog box, you click Effects and Plugins, Photoshop Plugins, click Setup. In the Setup box, you click Add Folder. That'll take you to a directory of your hard drive. Now I have a folder called Xara Plugins that I'm choosing. This is where I installed my third-party plugins. Click OK. Click OK in the Options box. And once you've created an object, you click the Live Effects button. Click New, and as you can see, in addition to the native filters, you have all your third parties. Let's take this Live Effects out for a test drive. I'm going to create a star here and then choose Arrange and convert to editable shapes so I can change the paths later. Click Live Effects, click New, and then I'm in the Deformation Filter folder. I'm going to click Even Waves. This gives me amplitude and frequency, and as you can see, I'm severely distorting this star. This would be hard to do with just Xara's vector tools. Now the fun doesn't stop here. On the info bar, we have Effect Order. This means that you can add more than one filter to the same object. We also have Resolution. Now as you can see, the outline is smooth at high resolution for print. If you want to work quicker, you use a lower resolution, but you pick that from the list. Also, on the info bar is Lock, Unlock Effects, Delete All Effects, and you can edit the current effect at any time by clicking the Edit button. As you can see, I've severely messed up this star now. It doesn't resemble a star at all. However, what's underlying, if you change the view quality to wireframe, is the star is still there. Now with the Shape tool, I'm going to click and drag some of the control points that I've simplified, and this changes in turn what's happening with the applied filter. And if I go back to wireframe view, you can see that this is a very simple vector shape that gets its complexity through a filter. Now, sooner or later, you're going to create a group of shapes and apply more than one filter. Now here, I've taken the painting filter and I've also added a shadow to it. To edit inside this group without destroying the filter, what you do is you double-click and a new window opens called Edit Inside. Now from here, for example, I can increase the size of the heart, and when I'm done, I close the window. Do you want to save changes? Yes. And I'm back to the filter drawing edited. Now another way to edit live is to control-click on an object. And as you can see here, what I'm doing is I'm changing the shape of the heart by selecting Inside and make it a little bit larger. And as long as that's selected, I can take the Erase tool and edit part of a group of shapes that all have the same filter applied to it. And as you can see here, I'm turning the heart into a diamond. Why don't you get out the bebop Xara file now, and I'm going to show you a really neat trick you can do with one of the native filters in Xara's Live Effects. Now, what appears to be two simple extruded shapes are not at all. They're actually a collection of many shapes with gradient fills, and as you might imagine, unless these colors were named, it would be darn hard to recolor either of the characters. However, with the Color with Gradient filter under the Color Filter group, you can choose a preset. Now let's say we want to make the gal green, so we pick something like that, create a copy so you don't mess up the original, give it a name. My green is good in this case. Now what you do is you can drag a color stop off the strip. You can also click on a strip and assign it a new color, as I'm doing here. So make yours a little darker green and then move it over so that the green is preferred over the black. And all of a sudden, boom, the pink lady is now a green gal. But wait a second, that's not the really cool thing I want to show you. Click on Edit now, and click Invert Gradient. Now click on the swatch, and let's edit it. Click Edit, and I want you to move the green stop a little closer over so that the result is not so dark. Now, what's going on with this inverted gradient is a little bit subtle. I want you to copy the girl now, press Control N, and you're going to paste her into a new document. I'm going to show you something. By reversing the gradient, what you've actually done is change the lighting. The girl used to be front lit, and it's not obvious quite yet that she's being lit from behind until you put a black rectangle behind her. With the rectangle tool, draw a rectangle. Control-Shift-B to put it behind the girl. With the gradient tool, drag upward, select the first control handle, and then color it green. Let's take the ellipse, drag an ellipse. Now it's going to have the last property, so let's click on green to make it solid. Let's feather this a little bit so it looks like a light behind the girl. Control-Shift-B to put it behind. Then what we want to do is drop a copy of the girl. Once we've ungrouped, Control-U, the filter goes away. Now that's okay. With this ungrouped, what we want to do is create a single piece. So add group, and what you want to do is flip it upside down like this. We're going to create a shadow. Color it black. Let's scale it disproportionately. I think squashing is the non-technical term. Let's push it up a little bit more and click on it as selected to get the rotation and skew handles. Skew it like that. What you've achieved is a completely new illustration through the use of filters. I hope you've had fun using filters, and I'll see you again next month at